This video today will be a simple one. I will be going through an exercise that I think is really helpful for goalies. It's called the deadlift. There are many variations and you might hear it referred to as a hinge, which is a movement that you do in a deadlift. I like barbell deadlifts, but I also find value in a deadlift with no weight, especially the single leg version. And what's nice is that you can do it at home because you don't need any equipment. I'll break down the benefits of both deadlift variations and then explain how to do a single leg deadlift. Any deadlift variation trains the hamstrings and the glutes. When you go heavy in a barbell deadlift, there are a lot of other muscles involved too. The obliques, the back extensors, calves, biceps, even the chest. Because of this, it has a ton of value because it's only one exercise, but it provides a lot of benefits. I use the barbell deadlift for strength. As long as you use good form, you can strengthen your entire body, and as you increase the weight you can lift, everything you do on the ice becomes easier. That's because your max strength goes up, and so your on-ice movements like butterflies, slides, shuffles, and long pushes take a lower percentage of your max strength. So you get less tired and you'll likely be faster too. Deadlifts not only make you stronger, but they can help prevent injuries, and they can also help with hamstring tightness because training the hamstrings through a proper range of motion with weight teaches the nervous system to relax and let go of tension. Deadlifts with a barbell are great, but there's another variation that you can do anywhere and has some specific benefits for goalies. The single leg deadlift, or the kickstand hinge as David Gray calls it, and he's the person I learned the movement from, has two major benefits. One, it of course builds strength through the hamstrings and the glutes. And two, if you do it right, it can open up space in the back of the glute, improving internal rotation. Internal rotation is what your hips need for a wider butterfly. It's also an important movement to have access to for strength, power generation, and hip health. All hinges will work for internal rotation, but I particularly like this kickstand hinge variation. So here's how you do it. You're gonna stand up, keeping as much of your own body weight as possible on that one leg that's in front. Your other leg is placed right beside and slightly behind that front leg, but you're putting as little weight as possible on that leg. You should be able to take it off the ground without falling. Bend the knee of that front leg to somewhere over the midfoot. Now don't move it from there. The knee has to stay there the whole time you do the exercise to keep tension on the glute instead of the hamstring. You're going to face straight ahead. Make sure you don't lean your hips to the side of the back leg. Stay over that front leg. Keep your torso long and your neck long. Now I want you to hinge by moving your hips back. Think about creating the furthest distance possible between your head and your hips. Your hips go back, they don't go down. They're moving back in space as your head is moving forwards in space, and you're keeping as much distance as possible between the two. Now you come back up by pushing through the middle of your foot and standing straight up to the top. Now come back up by pushing through the middle of your foot and stand straight at the end. Finish the exercise, don't stop early. Did your knee move? Don't let it move, keep it where it is the whole time. Do it again. Hips back, knee stays where it is, push through that foot. You should feel this exercise in the back of your butt. There should be tension as you use the glute muscle to move your hips back in space and then extend your hips to come up at the top. This is a great strength and mobility exercise. You're unlocking range of motion and you're stretching the muscle fibers and tissues of the glute that most exercises don't. If you're doing this right, your glute should be on fire. Even if it's not, and sometimes it takes practice, you're still doing a movement that is great for the body. You might also feel the tension in your quads or your hamstrings instead of just your glute. That's okay. You just keep practicing the exercise. You're still getting benefits from doing the exercise this way, but over time, as you get better at it, as you get the details right, you start to feel it more in your glute, and then you get the real benefits of this exercise. Single leg strength work and training a clean hinge are very important for athletes and goalies. I don't care about reps and sets too much for this one. It's more important to just be consistent. You want to just practice the exercise daily if you can. 5 reps per set, or 10, or go until failure. You can also do isometric versions, so you can hold that position where your hips are as far back as you can take them. Your knee stays in that spot and you just stay there for about 30 seconds and really focus on feeling that tension in the glute muscles. Practice the movement and see how it gets harder as you get your technique dialed in, and then hopefully easier over time as you get stronger and as you get better at the exercise. You can add weight as you get better at it, but there's no rush. You can start to hold a 15-pound dumbbell in your hand or 30 pounds, whatever it is. You just want to make sure that you're challenging yourself in the exercise while also keeping the form as perfect as you can. I love this type of training because it's a mobility exercise disguised as just a strength exercise. I have a variation of this hinge in my goalie leg program, which you can buy on the Goalie Strength website. I highly recommend it. It has a bunch of different exercises in an easy to follow program. You don't need any equipment. You can do it at home, and it only takes about 20 minutes per day. Practice the deadlift, remember the cues, Stay consistent with it, and I guarantee you'll notice benefits from doing this exercise. Any questions, please let me know in the comments. I will see you in the next video.